Hi everyone, I'm Diana RANSOM, Executive Editor at Inc., and I'm pleased to welcome you all to this session on purpose-driven brands with Supergoop. Supergoop is a clean ingredient sunblock maker based in San Antonio. It's the brainchild of Holly Thagard, who is a mom and longtime skincare advocate. For many years, Holly worked to spread the brand's message. That is, sunblock shouldn't just be worn as a seasonal thing. It should be something consumers, particularly children, use daily, as harm can be done to a person's skin year-round. Here with us today is Amanda Baldwin. She is Supergoop CEO. So Amanda, thanks for being here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let me just kick things off. Can you start off by telling us a little bit more about Supergoop's purpose?
Yeah, I mean, you shared with everybody the origin story and Holly, our founder, and I think that's really what it's all about. So Holly created this brand nearly 20 years ago. If you can imagine that. She had a friend who was diagnosed with skin cancer at age 29, and I think it set off a light bulb for her, one of those kind of unbelievable entrepreneurial stories of something happening in someone's life. She had a best friend who was going through her dermatology residency at the time, and she had been a former teacher, and somehow all those collided into, why does anybody get skin cancer? Her friend teaching her that it's about daily exposure, her thinking about being on the playground and never seeing a kid with a tube of sunscreen, and all that came together to say, well, I'm going to change that, and that's what we're still doing today.
And what are some of the ways that it's been helpful to have this mission? It's helpful for the brand.
I always say that a mission is the greatest gift that anybody in my shoes could be given. Now more than ever, I think it really clears out when you're trying to make a strategic decision about a business. You say, does this deliver on our mission to change the way the world thinks about sunscreen? If yes, we do it. If no, we don't. It's actually incredibly powerful strategically. It's also incredibly powerful to us as a team. I think to lead an organization now, to be working in any way, you really want to know that you're getting up every morning, you're doing something that matters. And so I think it's the thing that binds us all together. I think it's the thing that's held us together through the last few years. It's the thing that continues to motivate it. It's sort of the one thing that in an interview process that I always want to hear is that somebody really has a connection to our cause.
Knowing that Supergoop's mission is larger, that is, you want to get everybody to wear sunscreen on a daily basis. I wanted to hear you point out or talk about a bit more on why, Supergoop is a premium product still. It's still expensive to get. So basically, not everyone can afford it. So the question for you is, how do you reconcile charging so much for a product that, not everybody can afford?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that one thing that I've learned about Supergoop is that we have a lot of work and a really big mission, and nothing happens overnight. So where the business is today is not necessarily where it will be in another 20 years. So I'll start by saying that. And we sort of chip away at things and chip away at our mission. We say 1 ounce at a time. And that actually is something that we're doing very actively now, as we do have a program called Ounce by Ounce, which gives away sunscreen for free into classrooms. And it's a really big part of how we've been able to support our mission by giving away free sunscreen to children who need it. We actively seek out people who are looking for this. So it's a big shout out to anybody watching this, that if you know a school that needs sunscreen, we're thrilled to give it away. So that's something that is really important to us. And I think our positioning really is about how we drive change, and our product and the quality of the product is sort of demands the price that we charge. But we'll see where we go from here.
You basically took over the operational reins from Holly a few years ago. What is it like to do that when you're sort of taking over for somebody who's the visionary, founder?
Holly and I have a relationship that I think is so precious and so dear to both of us. And I think the thing is that we've never had to really talk about what I do or what she does. I think that there's sort of this mutual understanding and respect to the yin and yang of who we are and how passionate we are both about the cause and what we're building, but how different our skill sets are, how different we are in sort of how we come across and how we think about the challenges ahead. And so when I interviewed with Holly, we spent a lot of time getting to know each other, making sure that we did have that alignment. And from day one, she's been an incredible founder who I think really understands that to do something, you don't do it alone. And so the relationship that we have and how seamless that is reflects itself in everybody in this organization. And I certainly don't do it alone. And there's a tremendous number of people who kind of come and make this real every single day. So I guess my best story is that there never was a story, that it was just kind of the natural way that it happened. And it really is a testament to Holly as a founder that she had that level of trust in me and that level of trust in the team.
Well, part of it, I suspect, is that you're building a brand, and you want to install people who can help scale that business, especially if your mission is to bring this product to everybody. So having, being able to let go of the reins is probably to some degree part of helping it grow.
Absolutely. You can't change the world one person. So it takes a whole troop.
So let's sort of switch gears here for a second. Private equity firm Blackstone acquired a majority stake in Supergoop. Being CEO now, how have you managed to preserve your brand's purpose after getting acquired?
We never would have done a transaction if we didn't believe from the very get-go that Blackstone had the same beliefs that we do, that they're as committed to this cause, that they're as committed to this mission as we are. That's why we are partners. So nothing has changed. We've only gotten more help. We've been surrounded by incredibly intelligent, driven people who want to help put a megaphone to our message, and we say thank you. So it's a really exciting time for us.
Well, how did you know back when you were still, considering the offer? Like, how did you know they would be, good stewards of the brand?
Again, like hire people the way that Holly and I built a relationship. There's a lot of just conversation. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of trust that, in those relationships. And it's really getting to know people and getting to know what drives them and what they care about, and making sure that we're all aligned towards the same end goal.
And what are some key tips for working with investors? How do you get them to see the big picture?
I think it's all in who you choose from the beginning and your alignment. One of the things that I loved about Blackstone is that they themselves are category creators, that they are, that they believe in doing big things and they believe in changing the world. And obviously that's a philosophy that we both share. We may do that in different ways every day, but I think we really have that commonality. And I think that was incredibly important to us. And we also have this amazing opportunity to be a part of a platform of female-led brands that are really category creators, alongside Sarah Blakely and Spanx and Reese Witherspoon and Hello Sunshine, and these brands that are truly changing the world in their own way. And so I think it's an incredible privilege to be in that same group.
Supergoop these days is everywhere, in Sephora, in magazines, in Anthropology even. Is educating consumers about your brand still as important as it used to be?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are still at the beginning of our journey. When you think about, I've seen our awareness numbers. I know how big of a business we have. I know how many people are on the globe. I know that 84% of people still don't wear sunscreen on a daily basis. So educating on why SPF will always be at the beginning. I mean, may we get to a point where it's as obvious as brushing your teeth or wearing a seatbelt, but we've got a long way to go.
As you expand internationally, I have to imagine communicating that purpose can be somewhat of a challenge. After all, some cultures still idolize beautifully bronzed skin. What's been your strategy?
Look, I think that we inherently, as we've been focusing on, we have a mission, we have a core belief. But I think that when you have that, you need to understand the people that you're talking to, no matter where they are in the world, and come at your point of view from kind of how they're thinking about the world. And so we do, stay very true to who we are, but we really understand what's the consumer frame of reference. So we have a big business in China and cross-border, and one of the insights that we really understood is that something that we can deliver that's different than the product there that exists on the market already is really high performance under makeup. And so as we've thought about positioning the brand and really talking to the Chinese consumer, that's been a huge part of our effort. So we really think about these things on an individual basis, country by country, person by person. There's not the same right SKU for, right formula for me as there is for you. And that's sort of the beauty of this brand. That's why we have so much potential. That's why we have so many different formulas, is we don't think it's one size fits all, which is a really unique approach.
And you mentioned back in previously that during the interview process, one of the things you like to hear is that people have like a personal attachment to, sort of, I guess, sunscreen and skincare generally. What appealed to you about working at Supergoop?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the beauty industry and the skincare world for quite a while, and very early on, I learned that SPF is literally the number one thing you can do for your skin. So I had a sort of scientific understanding of why this was important to the end consumer. So that got me really excited to imagine a brand that was 100% dedicated to that. I also have always had a desire and sort of a drive to find a business where I could combine trying to make the world a better place with what I do every day, and to find a company where those things collide was really exciting for me as well.
did it impact your decision knowing that this was a female-led brand?
Look, I believe in working with the best possible people, no matter who they are and what gender they are. So I think that it was certainly something that I really admired Holly and the team here. But I really believe in lots of diverse voices around the table.
You're the CEO, obviously. What's the biggest challenge you face in supporting Supergoop's mission?
Keeping up with it, keeping up with the growth, making sure that we have, I really so fundamentally believe that we have this incredible opportunity. And so making sure that we have the best people who are having, the ride of their lives to be able to make that all real is certainly the thing that I spend the most time on and building to support that growth.
And what's your best advice for purpose-driven brands?
Stay true to your purpose. Believe in it. There was certainly, even when I started, and if you went back and talked to Holly about what it was like to start this brand, the world did not believe that sunscreen was as cool as it is now. And you had to believe in that, and you have a real sense of what you're trying to do and never forget it, and never let anybody tell you that it doesn't matter.
So when you're sort of sitting around the table with Holly, talking about strategy and what to do next and how to approach different challenges, what keeps you centered? What keeps you motivated? Do you think about sunscreen on a daily basis, or are you more like the business tactician? How do you approach
I've
things?
adopted this mission as my own. I will certainly always have an infinite respect for Holly and how she created it, but I think that you have to, in our shoes, is really believe it. I'm not just a tactician who's here executing on something that somebody else came up with. We all really believe it in our own unique and special ways. And I would say that for the entirety of the team. Again, I can't emphasize enough that it's not me. It's a group of over 100 people now who are living and breathing this every single day.
And you mentioned before that 84% of customers don't wear sunscreen on a daily basis. How do you hope to reach those people?
We are always looking at new and creative ways. We have a big marketing campaign running right now. I think it depends on, to your earlier question about where we are in the globe, it depends on what age group we're trying to reach. Are we trying to reach men or women? And again, meeting them where they are in a way that they understand and putting our message into language that really makes sense for them. So I think it's very unique and it's very tailored to the end person that we're trying to explain why this matters.
Wonderful. Amanda, you've given us so much to think about. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Great to be here. Thanks.